Good afternoon, everyone. So today on the call, we have a very good friend of ours. His name is Tunde. So Tunde, how's it going? Is everything going well?
Everything is going well.
That's great. And then we also have my other colleague on the line, Inder. Hi, Inder. How's it going?
Going well, sitting outside in a public spot as I'm someone who is not that disciplined and doesn't stay inside. So I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully there's not a lot of noise. If there is a lot of noise, I'm sorry. It's just my part of my personality.
No worries. We're gonna be interviewing, like I mentioned a few seconds ago, Tunde. So Tunde is a project manager in a organization in Toronto. So Tunde, if you don't mind, just introducing yourself to our audience and to our viewers, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your position and then your career role as well, if that's okay.
Thank you very much, my friends, for having me here today, Inder&Mir. I'm a project management professional as well as a health informatics professional, all wrapped in one. And prior to practicing my professional calling, I did health informatics at York University. In fact, that really propelled me to focus my project management activity in the health sector, also vis-a-vis the priority given to the health by the province of Ontario. So I believe that I will have more activities there, more to keep me moving and engaged. So I've been practicing project management professional for some years now, since leaving school, or I would say prior to coming to Canada.
Huh.
So coming to Canada, well, I had to pursue that certification prior to even go to school at York University.
Okay.
So then from there, leaving school, I had the opportunity to work at the University Health Network at the Toronto Western Hospital. From there, as the Michener Institute merged with the University Health Network as a whole, so I was reassigned to Michener Institute, where I work as a project analyst in the information management department.
Okay.
So that is the role I play. So I worked on the projects, in vast array of projects, including diagnostic equipment installation and the disaster recovery activities in the information management department. So this was a term position. After the expiration of my position, I moved on. In fact, I had to incorporate my company, Nicklebatt Consulting Inc. So I've been working with a lot of vendors, so managing projects on a time basis, and that form of that kind of a business-to-business arrangement with other vendors give me the opportunity to wide open field to practice my profession. And so this is what I've been doing till date.
Amazing. Good for you.
That's great.
I guess I'm someone who really likes to question people who have started businesses because I'm still trying to figure that piece out. So what was the transition like? I know you elaborated a lot about all your different experiences you have had with project management and healthcare. So I know we're sort of like jumping the gun, but for me, this is more of a question that I'm more curious about. So like, what was the transition like? And also, how did you really leverage your prior experience to create your own consulting business and like, get clients? Like, what was the learning and how did you figure it out? What would a newbie like me or someone else should know?
Yes, actually, before you can get this kind of opportunity, you have to have experience, irrespective of a project management certification. Of course, the certification is very, very important as well, because that gives your prospective business partners or employer that you have what it takes to manage projects. So just like I said earlier, I was managing projects in Nigeria before coming to Canada. And so it was really a big transition for me, having managed projects and in the agricultural sector, now transitioning to health sector. It was a big jump. It wasn't easy, but then with determination and perseverance, then having my goal ahead of me all the time, knowing where I'm going, so I was able to overcome this gulf between agricultural sector and the health sector. So it was determination, perseverance, and having my goal ahead of me, seeing my goal every day, working towards my goal, and then do what it takes to be sure that I excel in this professional calling.
So, so that actually brings another interesting question, which would be that I know, like you mentioned the personality traits or the rigor that you had to go through, but what about how did you really do it? Because that could be really useful for someone who is immigrating, who might listen to this and would or maybe wants to immigrate, because it's going to be on LinkedIn and other resources, other channels. So how did you do it? Agriculture to healthcare. How did you? So you basically laid out. I don't know, actually, it's the right thing to just say that you laid out a plan. You might have laid out a working plan and then you figured it out as you went, how to go towards a particular direction. And in this case, you ended up being in medical imaging informatics. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I was just making sure I understood that.
That's great. So Tunde, so my question to you was, I think you elaborated more, well, a lot on your transition from back home when you were a project manager in the agriculture field, and now you're a project manager in the healthcare field. So I guess if a person is interested in becoming a project manager in general, whatever field that they want to go into, I guess, in your opinion, what skills should they possess as an individual to become a project manager? Because I feel like in any sector you're in project management, you need to have certain skills to accomplish, daily tasks or daily projects that a company may require you to do, or a vendor may require you to do. So I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, there are so many options to become a project management professional, depending on your experience. If you don't have much experience, that's a path you can take to become a project management professional. Project Management Institute has a certification called Certified Associate Project Manager. It's called a Certified Associate in Project Management, CAPM. This is for those who do not have much experience in managing projects. So you go through that, and you must have acquired about 23 hours of project management experience or education. And then if you have a secondary high school education, that is the minimum. High school education with experience. Then you must register with educational provider, project management educational provider. We call them REP, Register Educational Provider. These are providers certified by the Project Management Institute. So they will provide you training, at least minimum of 23 hours. After that, you can sit and write this certification, which is called Certified Associate in Project Management, CAPM. However, if you have a degree and you have experience as well, you can go for project management professional certification, PMP. This is for those who have at least bachelor's degree and some experience in managing projects. Despite that, you must also register with education providers certified by the Project Management Institute. So you acquire some hours as well being trained by these reps. So after that, if you know you have enough knowledge, you can now sit to write the project management professional examination. So these are the two ways that you can become a project management professional. There are other ways, but those other ways are even higher than the PMP. If you want to become a program management professional, or you want to become a portfolio management professional, those are other higher certification being organized and controlled by the PMI.
Wonderful. This one's
That's
going to
great.
be epic.
Yeah.
This one's going to be epic, Mir, because there's like literally action steps. That's what Tunde is doing for a lot of people who listen to this. We'll have to chop this down for everyone. Anyways, you can ask your next question. I was just excited about it.
No, that's great, Tunde. Thank you so much for elaborating on that question. The other question I had for you, Tunde, is I know, I guess, in PM, or if a person wants to go into project management, I know you briefly elaborated that there's a lot of certifications that they will need to take. However, like knowing PMI or taking those certification, it does cost a lot of money, right? Which an individual may not have. So I guess what I'm coming to is, do you recommend people who are interested in going into PMP or into project management to volunteer to gain experiences? Because I believe, I mean, education is required in project management, but I'm thinking, do you have any recommendations for any alternatives if they cannot afford to get those certifications, or if they cannot afford, to pursue a bachelor's degree? Do you have any recommendations or alternatives?
Yes, PMI, the local chapters of PMI organize mentorship for those that are aspiring to become project management professionals. They organize this thing every year. I belong to the Toronto chapter, local chapter. So my chapter organizes this thing every year. This is an opportunity for those aspiring project management professionals to be paired with mentors. So the mentors will take them through the arts of project management for over time. So it also depends on the interest. If those aspiring project management professionals have interest, because this is practical exposure to project management, and so that is a way. But there are other, just like I said, the registered education providers. These are certified by the Project Management Institutes,
Okay.
but it costs money. I know your question, the underline in your question is affordability. Affordability, How is it affordable for those that are aspiring to become project management professionals? So those are the two routes that I can tell you. Through the chapter, and before you can become a mentee in the chapter, you have to become a member. That is a precondition. You have to become a member, pay membership due. So it all costs money. That is it.
That's true. Okay. In there, you can go ahead.
No, I was just laughing at when he said it all costs. It does cost money. So I guess, I mean, you partly answered this question, but maybe you can highlight a little bit more.
Okay.
Why PM? Like, there could have been anything else, right? Still, yeah, you were sort of like combining technology with project management, but why like, it seems like your direction towards PM more could have taken you towards somewhere else, right? So is this something you really wanted to do, or what was the reason?
Yeah, actually, thank you for this question. Everywhere today, resources are scarce. Resources are dwindling. and we need to manage these resources judiciously. So that is where project managers come in. The project managers are trained to manage resources judiciously. So by planning with other stakeholders. So through planning, you can tell the project sponsors whether the project is feasible or not. You are just like a gatekeeper to using resources in any establishment.
Yep.
That's how project managers seem to be. Though their role is more than that. But then, so to answer your question vividly, YPM, most of the activities today, most business owners today, they want to go into endeavor with certainty that they can reap their investment.
Mm-hmm.
So project managers are trained to be able to do the business, to establish the business case, do the business case, and be able to advise. Of course, we are not financial managers,
Mm-hmm.
but then we can do business case for every project being sponsored.
Smart. Yep. Okay.
So that is it.
Yep. That answers. So you were saying that because you think it's definitely needed, and I'm just trying to simplify it in my mind. So it's like it's needed. So partly that's the reason. And secondly, you can help in a certain way where you can manage resources. So
Yes.
to summarize, is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. Mir?
Sorry about that. So sorry. The question I asked was, since you graduated from Health Informatics, and then you notified us that you specialized after in Health Informatics into Medical Informatics. So why Medical Informatics? Was there a reason behind it? Because there's so many different streams that you can pursue with Health Informatics, but I'm just wondering, why did you select Medical Informatics?
Yes, correction, please. I said Medical Imaging Informatics.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Medical Imaging Informatics. So while we were in school, there was this subject we were taught about PACS, imaging acquisition, storage, and retrieval. So that technology was what really inspired me to go for medical imaging informatics, to narrow my activities to medical imaging informatics. So this is a big transition and cost savings for every practice. For transitioning from an era of where we carry X-ray photographic film roundabout to electronic imaging transition. Electronic imaging transition. So that is what really inspired me to narrow my focus to that, and I believe that it is still expanding because it has not reached its maturity. So, and I believe that opportunities still abound there for any aspiring students in medical imaging informatics, like the province of Ontario now, like the current initiative where they have the diagnostic imaging repository across several regions in Ontario, where patients anywhere in Ontario can have access to its medical imaging, irrespective of where the image was acquired. The image may be acquired in the University Health Network here in Toronto. If the patient is somewhere else in Ontario, you can have access to that information. So that technology really inspired me to focus on that.
That's great. The other question I had for you, Tunde, is, and I think you briefly covered this, but I guess for undergrad students who are interested in going into project management, or high school students that are interested in going into project management, I'm sure you have to do a lot of self-learning by yourself, not only by pursuing PMP, but I think you, correct me if I'm wrong, you probably did a lot of self-learning. So I guess my question to you is, what advice would you have for those undergrad, or newcomers, or even high school students, to access resources for self-learning tools? So yeah.
Yes, for for high school students or undergrad students aspiring to become managers, what I think they should have soft skill. They should they should have communication skill. They should be because they should be able to interact. Communication skill, and you must have a perseverance skill. You must have resilience because in project management environment, you are dealing in a matrix organization, not normal organization structure. Matrix organization where you can interact with finance, you can interact with HR, you can interact with information technology, or across all organizations. It's a matrix. So you don't have just a reporting manager that you report to. You interact with so many managers. So you just have to have that communication and then resilience skill, because you may face some frustration from some. We have our individual differences. So some managers may frustrate you, but then with your resilience skill, resilience nature, you just have to. You don't give up. Once you know what you are talking about, you know what you are looking for, you don't give up. And then so those skills, you must have it in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Then the technical skill of project management as well, you just can't rule it out as well. So then interest matters. I said it earlier, interest. You don't get into the river and start complaining about cold. You have to think about cold before you get into the river. So it's an adage in my language. So you don't get into the river and start complaining about cold. You must have thought about it before you get to the river bank. So have that interest, and then persistence.
Mm-hmm.
You have to persist on. If you know of the stuff you are made of, know what you're talking about, be persistent. And then just have to have a negotiating skills as well. Because in an organization, you may be on a project where you are limited resource-wise. I mean, personnel resources. You just have to be able to have that negotiating skill to be able to get resources from other departments. Just like I said, we work in a matrix. If you know you have somebody who has that skill that you need in another department, you should be able to negotiate how you can get that resource to your project.
Yeah, that's great. I think you highlighted not only skills, but a lot of self-learning techniques there for, undergrad or high school students who are interested in pursuing PMP. I think the key skill that you mentioned was negotiation, which could be applied in our lives or throughout our lives, I should say. Because that's definitely a unique skill to have. Like, you have to know how to negotiate with anything you want, right? Whether it's in project management or whether it's in your life. So that's great.
So, that's my question. I did not know much about health informatics or medical imaging when I was in high school. I mean, of course, I was in high school at a different time, quite 10 years ago. But how do you think someone would know if they would want to be a project manager? Since you said someone in high school or early university, a lot of people are not aware of what jobs are out there, what sectors are out there, what category of titles are out there. So what's your take on it?
I just want you to know that we all, in one way or the other, we all manage projects in our lives.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, we all manage projects. Just by definition of a project, it is a unique endeavor that has a beginning and an end. Going to school, okay, it's a project on its own because yes, you have to plan how to finance your education, whether by taking student loan or by savings prior to starting of your school. Then you get to school, just have to manage, monitor your progress, be on top of your academic acumen as well. Then it has a timeline. So you make sure that you don't have any subject, you don't fail any subject that will drag you back or that will extend your timeline. And then there are critical milestones as well. So you just have to take note of this. So so that is a project in itself. If it's it may be a product, it may be a process. It's a project. So back to your question, we manage projects, whether it's health informatics or resource development or any other aspect of any other area of a human endeavor. We manage projects, and most business owners these days, they are trying to make sure that they have a certainty that their businesses will succeed. They need people that can manage their resources, that can assure them that it will not be a wild goose chase in all their endeavors. So this is all I can say for secondary school and high school students, or I'm sorry, for undergrad and high school students, what they need, understanding with respect to health informatics, to answer your question, with respect to health informatics, you have to have interest in technology. And it's a technology what today. Children from elementary school, they're exposed to technology. For that, if they can sustain that interest in technology, not just using it, but know how it works. Why was it made? The purpose it was made for. So if you have that probing questions, then I would say the sky is just the start for you in health informatics.
That's great.
I loved it. I loved how you broke it down and then you explained how a project or a product can be managed and then different factors that where we can keep the product or the project within the scope and the timelines, and then basically you explain what project management is in like a very nuanced and subtle
Yeah.
way, which was just beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great. And yeah, it's now it's actually probably more clear for whosoever is going to listen to this and how or why they would be interested in a potential field where they could work as a project administrator or a project manager down the line, and that could be a potential one of the paths for them.
Yeah. So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So Tunde, so I guess my other question to you is, I think Inder kind of expanded more on this already, but in regards to creating your own business, because I believe you have your own consulting firm, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
So what made you pursue to have a consulting business, other than, I guess, I mean, there should have been a trigger point, right, from your 9 to 5 job, that made you, be like, screw it, like I'm not gonna work for anyone else. I'm gonna work for myself and make a consulting agency or consulting business. So, what was the trigger point?
Yeah, that's a good question. In this part of the world, private businesses are the drivers of the economy. So that is one thing I know. So and then I also thought that well, I need flexibility with my work. Prior to COVID-19, when we didn't know, nobody envisaged COVID-19 was coming. I wanted flexibility with my work. I want to be able to say, this is when I want to work, this is where I want to work. And and I believe that having my own business and then knowing the right connection, knowing the right people, and then seeing the opportunities in the economy. So I believe that I can make my own impact and expand my company beyond a two-person company to hiring people down the road. I wanted to be an employer of labor.
Okay. Understood. So I guess the other question, expanding more on that, is, Tony, that I want to ask you is, I guess we talked about people who are interested in going into PM, and now if I can talk more about people who are already in the field of PM but want to have their own company. So how does one start their own consulting agency? Like, how did you do it? Because I believe the way you did it was after coming from your country, from agriculture project management, you specialized into healthcare project management for maybe 4 to 6 years. And then after 4 to 6 years, you're like, I'm going to make my own agency. So how does a person who is in project management for 4 to 6 years start their own consulting agency? So what advice would you have for them?
Yeah. One, have your company name, get it incorporated with Incorporation Canada, and then get your HST number from the CRA, and then that's all it takes, because you can do it online. Incorporate your company online, get your HST with CRA or everything online. It's so easy to do. And then prior to forming your company, you just have to have vision of where you want to be. Then having that vision, how do you actualize that vision? So establish some goals, what you want to achieve in the near term, in the long term, and make them measurable. So after periodically sit down and assess yourself. Are you in the right direction? Are you working towards your goal? So, and then I know so many project management professionals in the field that I've worked with that, of course, they have their own company because they work as an independent project managers with so many blue chip organizations. But I still know some that actually are employees in these organizations. But then for those who want to break out, I think these are the steps they need to take. You have your vision, because if you don't have vision, I believe there's no way you can have provision. Because without vision, there'll be no provision. That is it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you so much for elaborating on that. I guess the last question for me, Tunde, for you is, what's next for you? Are you going to be just organizing your business, or is there something more that you want to specialize in project management down the road, like 4 to 5 years down the road?
4 to 5 years down the road, well, it's my vision to have my own imaging centers, because that's another thing that having looked at the situation here in Canada, in Ontario, I know there are many medical practices that when they want to acquire images, they refer their client or patient to a different center to acquire acquire their image. So I hope to have my own medical imaging center. But that is not, that's done. It's a long-term project. I mean, long-term goal. So in the next term, 5 years, I just want to expand the scope of my business.
Okay.
I have more clientele, expand my clientele, and to start having employees in my corporation as well.
That's great. Thank you. Inder, do you have anything else to add?
Just a last quick question. Would you be one of the people that other people who are project managers right now could connect with if they want to become entrepreneurs and have their own consulting businesses? And would you actually offer it as a service as well, or do you currently offer it as a service too, so that other people can also transition? Is that something do you offer? Is that something that you plan to offer, or is that something that you could offer in future? That's my question.
In fact, I will take this question as addition to the last question asked by Mir.
Yeah.
Because in addition to that, my near-term goal of 5 years, I just want to have my own registered education service as well, where I'll be training those that are aspiring to become project managers, as well as those who want to pursue career in medical imaging.
Wow.
So medical imaging informatics as well. So, but then before I can do this, I need to get my own permission from a PMI. I need to get my permission from a Society for Imaging Informatics in Medicine as well. So these are the plans that I have on my table now. So, and then back to Inder's question. For now, I can render selfless service to those that are aspiring to become project manager or health informatics. I can give no string attached service on where to go, how to do it, and I am reachable through my LinkedIn profile.
That's great.
Yeah,
we will definitely do that. We'll put your LinkedIn profile and the link of our YouTube channel, and then allow listeners or our audience to connect with you. That's great.
Perfect. I don't have any other questions. I just really enjoyed this interview, and just like how thorough Tunde is, and just how clearly and how articulate he is, in the sense that he made everything so clear that anyone potentially should be able to understand this, even though they have nothing to do with health informatics, medical imaging, or project management. So that was the beauty of this conversation. I really admire that, Tunde.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tunde, for joining us.
Thank you,
on our podcast today. So for those who are listening, if they want to connect with Tunde, we will post his LinkedIn profile in the description. And yeah, thanks everyone for attending this interview. I hope everyone has a good day.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.